Welcome back to CFBNation. I'm your host, Nino Brown. And I got my guy, he pops in here and there when he can. My guy, Boomer, he's a busy man. But this is his time of season. He's the guy that got a lot of us into the Senior Bowl. His quote that I will live by is act like you've been there before. Mr. Act like you've been there before. Jared Gray, how we doing, buddy?
I'm great, man. I'm happy to be here. Senior Bowl, coming up, and I think you're going to be riding solo on this one. But a lot of us obviously have stuff going on, and I mean, it's crazy. I don't think this is the first time I haven't been to a Senior Bowl in
A long time.
5 years. I think
Yeah.
5 or 6 years now. It's wild. Maybe longer than that. Yeah, 6 years.
That's crazy.
So,
but it's always a special time down there. You get to, you get a different perspective on it. A lot of guys, in the community, we watch it and we watch it on TV and breaking down film and stuff. But getting up close and personal, seeing these guys run drills, seeing these guys battle in the trenches, and what Jim Nagy and that staff and Molly do over there is just impeccable. And kudos to them. I know they're going to be jam packed for the next couple of days, especially coming up.
the amount it's grown the last 2 years is wild to me. I mean, especially being able to get underclassmen now. Called the Senior Bowl, but bro, that makes it fun.
Some of these guys, like just the running back room alone, Damon Martinez, Ollie Gordon, Jacques Honda. I mean, those three names right there, these are really talented guys at both of these groups. I threw this out to you guys. I wanted to see, something unique for the Senior Bowl, kind of up the ante and see who can pick the right guy and who's got the nose for it. I want to do like a Senior Bowl draft. All right, Dean, I'll be joining us soon. We're gonna pick 7 guys, 4 offense, 3 defense, and we're gonna see who can pick the best team. Overall, who does the best, where it be day to day ones overall, day 2s overall, day 3, and then ultimately in the game who performs under the spotlight. So we're gonna kick it off with the RB. But before we get into it, what are your thoughts on this draft? Are you ready for this? This is we're gonna put all the.
It's totally different. I'm ready for it because we're mixing it up. Like you have to take something here because obviously I think we would bounce around in general. Love that we're waiting for the quarterback at the end, and obviously got to have people checking to see what we're going to do here. I mean, I know what I want to do, and I also like to trump you as much as possible. So,
I gotta see. I knew this one was gonna be the one you're gonna try to throw a curveball at me. We're gonna go with D now first. He's got his pick is in. We're going to run. He's gonna go with my local guy, my Worcester native in Khalil Mullins, out of Michigan. He had a really good season this year. For Michigan. Overall, over 1,000 yards. Averaged over 5 yards per carry. 16 touchdowns in his career. He also played defense, right? Linebacker, turned running back. So he's got that little extra grit to him. But everybody thought it was going to be Donovan Edwards, really, to take over once, Blake Corum went to the NFL. And it seemed as though Khalil found this rock. He's found his role, his niche, the banger, the bruiser, who once he gets out and gets off, first contact, can't break off and eat up some yards. I think this is a great pick, especially at the Senior Bowl. Like, you're going to get to see things that guys like Chase Brown, pass pro, right? He made a name for himself out at the Senior
100%.
Bowl there my first year.
Probably got drafted because of the Senior Bowl. 100%.
100%. And these are guys like that, like Vidal last year, right? Like, had a little buzz going into it, but when it came to pass pro, when it came to special teams, it came to doing these little things, these guys were knocking the socks off everybody. And that gets more eyes on you. I think Mullins can showcase what he's got here, not only being that bruiser that can play, in the A or B gap and run which way he needs to, but he can pass pro. He can be an all-down back. Okay? He can be the gritty, I need 1 yard. I can get you that goal line yard, but I can also pick up a blitz, and keep my quarterback upright. So I love the pick. I think it's a really good pick here. And surprising that Mullins is the first guy off the board here with a fully stacked lineup. Boom, I'm going to let you go. You can go, and then I'll throw my guy.
Well, I know who your guy wants to be, but I'm taking him right now. Cam Scadaboo is definitely the dude. There's probably nobody that's helped himself more on the field than that guy over the last 6-8 weeks. I mean, he's confident, he's strong, he's like a bowling ball. Who's the boy from Kansas State? Went to Dallas recently. He's what everybody would hope he would be.
Little man.
Little man.
Little
I
man.
mean, because Skadway big, he ain't tall, but that dude's rock solid. He's a bowling ball.
Deuce, right?
You know what I mean? Deuce Vaughn.
Deuce,
yep.
Yeah.
So he's got tree trunks for legs. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But Cam just absolutely monster year, monster bowl game. I mean, huge playoff game for him. I was hating on him half the year, just because we have this thing about who's playing who and who's doing what, and we like to see he showed up when he's supposed to show up. Dude's throwing up on the sideline, going back in like it's nothing. I mean, if you want me to see a player who's built on his stones, I got to see it then, because you could tell that dude wasn't at 100%, but he gave everything. I mean, the fact that he threw up like 5 times, in that one instant, you're like, bro, and he's strap up. And I think right then I was sold, because you just don't have that type of player nowadays that, I mean, want to say it or not, we got some powder puffs. We got some guys who just
Yeah.
they don't want to do it. They don't want to put in the work. And that dude has had to grind from the get-go. And I was sold over the last couple of weeks, and he's a rock solid kid. I'm really excited to see what he's got. I mean, he reminds me a lot of the boy from the Jackrabbits that you that loved last year. You loved this dude.
Davis,
And
yeah.
Yeah, I loved him. And I think he's got a little bit of him in him, but it's hard to compare him. I see a lot of Matt Forte in him, to be honest with you, but it's just stouter. You know what I mean? Some rock solid bowling ball.
I see a shit ton of CMC. Shit ton.
Oh, yeah.
Like, and I know it's lazy man comp, but I mean, the size, the stature, the way he plays, doesn't avoid contact, can catch the ball, can be the Swiss Army knife out of the backfield.
His arm's bigger, right? I mean,
he a big boy.
He got some chunk on him. I mean,
he's a big. He could take a hit and keep on going. I mean, the fact that he went against, we always, like you said, we always talk about who he's going against. He went against the biggest guys in Texas, big dogs, like probably the toughest competition he had faced all year. They had him figured out for about a quarter and a half. He started to figure it out at the end of the second quarter. In that second half, it was all put the team on his back. He even says on the touchdown pass, okay, Sam says, yo, I rolled my ankle. You need to make something happen. Got you. They call him to do the pass play. He sees the coverage, audibles the coverage. Like, I'm not going to the guy I'm supposed to go. I say I got a one-on-one, and the guy hadn't caught a pass all game and throws a dime to this dude for 45-yard touchdown. Give me all of that, dude. Give me all.
Yeah, I'm here for it. Especially that dude studies tape, and he knows what he's doing. And I mean, our quarterback as a running back is legit. I mean, that's just what it is. I mean, it's what he is. He's the quarterback of that team. Whether we want to admit it or not, anybody, he was the absolute leader of the team. They're gonna absolutely hate not having him.
Yeah.
So easy pick for me, by the way. So
I gave, that was a layup. Pick one. I gave it to you.
I got him the number 2.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with Jacquez Hunter here. I've been on this train for a couple of years.
100%.
Even when he got, there was the question if he was going to be suspended last year at Auburn, or he couldn't be in the spring game. He had some issues, personal issues. You're looking at a guy that has, a career 70 receptions, which is nowadays in the NFL, this is what you're looking at. You're looking at a guy who could be on the field at all times, could be a pass guy, could be a guy who can run the ball. Back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons at Auburn, SEC competition. Kid gets it done. He's athletic, right? He's got the twitch to him. He can make you miss. He doesn't avoid the contact. He's great after contact. I think this is a place where they could show. He kind of gets buried in this, in these big names in this class. Martinez, Gordon, Neal, Harvey. You see these guys and what they've done over the past year or so, 2 years, and you're like, oh, okay. And then here he is, just coming along, chugging along, 1,000 yards after 1,000 yards. 30 receptions a year, 30 receptions a year before. Like, the kid's got it. And I think this is going to be a place where we could showcase it. And they're going to be like, oh, okay. big stature, not huge, but built well. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%.
Muscular, like I said, can handle a hit, get in out of the hole quickly. I really like Chaco Escondida. I think this kid's gonna really be able to showcase himself down in Mobile.
I mean, the crazy thing is just three of us, and I mean, we could have picked probably three more.
Oh
You know,
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
there's some dudes in this. Dude, Ollie Gordon be in there. You know, I mean, if it had been last year, we'd have picked him, right? I mean, what
100%.
he did last year. I mean, what he did last year is absolutely wild.
Uh,
Damian Martinez, dude.
21 touchdowns.
LaQuinn Allen.
Yeah, stupid.
I mean, Devin Neal. You
Yeah.
know, that dude, he got some miles on him at this point.
Yeah.
760 attempts is it's a lot.
I'm gonna let you go
So.
first when it comes to the next category, and then Dino will be second, and I'll go third. Wide receiver. Give me a guy in the wide receiver room.
You know, it's funny. I was
tight end, whatever
around.
You want to like. Receiver, I'll say. Receiver in general.
This is a tough one for me because obviously, like, there's a bunch of good players, and you know, but why don't you go with the school that just continues to dominate the NFL right now in LSU and Kyron Lacy?
Because he's going to jail.
Oh yeah, well that's true. He could be the guy.
He killed a man and left the scene, a Marine. And
yeah. You're right. Yeah, you're right.
I don't even think he's going to be down there, bro.
Yeah, you're right. I just saw the names. Like, man, I totally forgot. To be honest with you, I forgot about the whole. Yeah, you're right. He probably done for. Let me tell you a guy that I always have followed. Not crazy stats. He's not my pick, but Brew McCoy. You know what he's battled through and to do whatever. I just think he's a player. He's a guy that's going to be either a really late draft pick, but he's a guy that could really help himself this week. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That's not my guy though. I think the clear and easy guy for me would be Alik. I hate his last name. Emanora.
Alec Emanora?
Emanora. Yep. Yeah. So I think that he, because of where he went and what he did, not having a dude at quarterback, right? But I mean, size wise, I mean, what he's done with the catch. I mean, he's got your stat, right? You know, yards per catch. Mm-hmm. You always be talking about it. Where's he at? So 1,800 yards receiving, 1,000 yards receiving this year. I had a really big year. I honestly could have competed with any aspect. Yep. And that's the thing. I mean, he really helped himself out. I think this is a guy that could really, he's smart. I mean, what kid from Stanford isn't smart? So, I mean, the curriculum in that school is wild.
Big boy,
I mean,
go up and get it. That's the catch kid, yeah.
I mean, he's definitely a guy that, reminds me, who's the kid at Arizona that we really love from Nebraska? Fast kid, Palmer.
Trey Palmer?
Trey Palmer.
Yeah.
He ain't got the speed, obviously, but he's kind of like a mix between Rashee Rice and him, just in the like his body mold and stuff like that. I could see, where Rashee Rice had a really big, senior season. He was my number one that year. A lot of people not number one, but I really feel like we saw two guys, him and Tank Dell, really showed out first day, and we're like, watch them take the gas off, and
they did.
Our favorite one, I mean, the favorite one that we ever called was Puka. Like, dude, this dude had like 9 catches day one, pulls a hamstring, right? And we're like, dude, we both agreed when we walked in. It's like, dude, that dude, he looks better against all these guys who are dudes than he did all season. I'm like, somebody told this dude to go sit down.
Yeah.
And that's what happened, because it was wild to watch, because it was a real thing. And I think, Lee could be one of those guys that really shows out this week. And he's one of the biggest names for me to watch personally. And he might not be the top guy to grab, but for me, he's the top guy I want to watch.
I think, last year we heard a lot of the oohs and the ahs, especially, when Tess Walker down deep. It took him to day 2, but he started balling out in those deep balls. I think you can get a lot of oohs and ahs out of Emanora this year down in Mobile.
Yeah.
Dino went with a tight end, Gunnar Helm. I love it. I think this is a
Me too.
perfect spot for him to just go out there and go. This kid, is a guy that can pass pro, chip, slide off, be a safety blanket, can run routes. He may not be running 9 routes, you know what I'm saying? But he can give you the first 4, that's for sure. And that's perfect way for a guy to get in the NFL, pass pro, run those easy routes, be there, be open, sit down in coverage for your QB to make easy passes.
For me, is he not like a Cole Kmet clone?
Yeah.
Like,
yep.
I mean, that dude catches everything. He blocks everybody. I mean, and as a quarterback, you like
man.
full security blanket. That dude is, and 100%. I feel the same way about him. And it's wild. He's got some wiggle to him because how is he open all the time?
Kmet gets downfield, but he eats and dominates that short intermediate game. But he somehow between the hashes works his way downfield. He got hands. First year, he had a little bit of the dropsies, but he's turned on the last 2 seasons. And I like the comp. I think that, I think this is going to be a show.
I love him. Obviously, phenomenal pick by Dino.
I'm going to go way out west. Kid's never had a quarterback that's been good. He's been freaking good, man. 2 seasons, he's had 126 receptions, almost 2,000 yards. 21 touchdowns. He's averaged 15 yards per catch. Give me Jalen Royals, bro.
Dude, what a great name, too, by the way.
They gave him in his senior season Spencer Petras. Like, nobody wanted this guy. And they gave him to him. And my man still had a year. Almost 1,000 yards, double-digit touchdowns. And he turned it on later in the year. The first couple of games, it was struggle to get on the same page. But last season, now you got 2 coaches, 2 different schemes, 2 different quarterbacks. And this dude just keeps eating. My guy, Andy, loves Jalen Royals. Always talks about this is a kid that couldn't win at the line of scrimmage. The coaches told him, we got to work on it. This is what now this dude dominates at the line of scrimmage. I think this is going to be the guy that is going to destroy Mobile and Hancock Stadium when it comes to after the catch. You're about to witness a man put on a spectacle. When the ball hits his hands, watch out. This guy
is it we're gonna see like a Jaden Reed, because I remember we were like,
that's what I'm saying. When you get it and then he goes, people will be like, whoa, okay, he's real. It's not just you were dominating the Mountain West. This dude is real. Jalen Royals is real, and I think Jalen Royals is going to put himself up a whole day, in the draft when he comes out of Mobile at the end.
If he don't get like a Burger King deal, by the way, like. I got a problem. Like, I mean, he's got to do something. Like, Royal Beer. I mean, definitely should have
Crown Royal.
100%.
Something. Somebody got.
Oh, dude, give me a Crown Royal, 100%. I mean, wearing a crown. I mean, got somebody. He better. His marketing team better be talking to somebody, especially if he's first 3 rounds.
I'm gonna go offensive lineman. I'm gonna kick off offensive lineman. I had 2 guys on here that like screamed at me like these guys are going to be brick walls and these guys are going to make names for themselves. The dude out of Missouri, remember, I really love this kid, but he's not my pick. I'm going Jackson Slater out of Sacramento State. I'm talking about a dude who's got almost 3,200 snaps in his career, only 4 sacks allowed at left guard, all right? This year alone, he had almost 650 snaps. Boy didn't allow a sack. Boy didn't allow a QB hit. My man only allowed 4 total pressures on the season. And he's versatile, right? He's played left guard. He's also had 200 plus snaps at left tackle. And we all know when it comes to Mobile and the Senior Bowl, they love putting guys all over the place, especially on the line. Oh, you played here, you played there. You had a little bit. Let's see. Line up at center. Line up at guard. See how you do. This kid. Remember that gentleman went to the Giants our first year? And John Michael, you were like, yo, this dude was a brick wall. I'm thinking, my boy right here out of Sacramento State, Jackson Slater, we're going to be talking about this guy quite a bit. And I think his versatility might have him all over the place. Give me your guy.
Easy for me. It's actually Jack Nelson from Wisconsin. I mean, just 3,100 career snaps, 1 sack allowed, 7 total pressures. I mean, bro, you can give me all that, by the way. Like,
big boy.
Big boy. I mean, it's funny because he's one of those guys that if you put on the tape, He's gonna show you who he is. What I worry about, somebody convinces him, hey, you need to go to the combine. You know what? Go do this, and then he doesn't do well at the combine. And I always refer back to Orlando Brown at the combine. This dude was a first round pick, easy all day, goes to combine, tanks, right? Drops to the third round. This dude's been an All Pro 4 times in 6 years,
Yeah.
but been a Pro Bowler every year but one. It should have been a Pro Bowler that year, but he went to the combine because somebody told him that was a good idea. If me personally, look at the tape, and that dude's tape, Nelson's tape is phenomenal.
Bro, he's 6'7" at left tackle. The wall.
It's kind of like Phil Lodeholt way back in the day. Went to when JUCO kid, and then went to Oklahoma, and obviously went on to be coach. Went to Minnesota, had really good career at Minnesota. 6'7" at left tackle, bro.
Thank you. Yeah, bro, eclipsing. Like your quarterback. If you got a quarterback in the air 2, 3, or 4, if it's you want that guy. But big boy, that your young boy don't have to worry about shit about. I know I got the wall right there protecting me. Going to take everybody to get around that dude just at 6'7". I love it, and I think Jack Nelson is going to scream.
There's so many dudes, and I think it's first round kid. To be honest with you, there are so many quarterbacks because I think he's versatile enough to go the other side. Well, could you imagine if he goes to Tampa? You got Tristan Wirfs, who's been an All Pro at left and right tackle. You imagine if you put both those, like, Baker's just saying thank you for once, But I'll tell you who needs it more than anybody.
Drake May could use
Chicago, bro.
Right, Caleb. Drake
May. My
man.
I saw the craziest stat from Chicago the other day. This dude sacked 63 times. Do you know how many broken tackle sacks that he had?
No.
50.
Yeah, but a lot of them probably on his own.
123 sacks. This dude, 113 sacks. This dude almost had. Could you imagine? So I just look at small things like that. Dude needs a line, bad, really bad. Yeah. But this is a guy that could, as big as he is, could fly on the radar, and somebody's going to get a steal.
Yeah, I'm
just personal.
I want Patriots to take Abdul Carter at 4.
Hey, I think that's honestly, I think he should be the first pick in the draft.
I'm with it, but we know what's going to happen. The quarterback's going to go for the needy teams and whatever it may be, and you're at 4. You need so much. Now you have an anchor on defense, right? They're saying they want him to take Terry McMillan. I love T-Mac, but at 4, to me, I don't know. You still need somebody.
Me personally, why not go? With sure you get whoever. I think Drake. I think they end up getting AJ Brown, by the way. But it's a real thing because Vrabel and him are boys, so you ain't got to worry about that. Or you might have to give up a little bit for him, but he's older, so maybe not. I think AJ Brown's a Patriot next year. I'm just gonna put that out there. But I think Abdul Carter's the perfect pick there, 100%. I don't think, me personally, I would take a number 1.
He thinks he should be number 1, and I love it. All right.
His last game, he looked like he should be number 1.
Agreed. The guy was playing with one arm, blitzing from the weak side, and winning. D now goes with Caleb Rogers out of Texas Tech. This dude has 4,300 career snaps. You're talking about an Iron Man at right tackle. Hey, last year, 1,000 snaps, only 4 sacks allowed, less than 20 total pressures on a team that was kind of all over the place. You know what I mean? Yeah, it was just steady Eddie on the line. I love it. Caleb Rogers, Texas Tech, solid pick.
100%. Love it.
Let's get to the quarterbacks. I'm going to let you go first. Go ahead, bud.
So cornerback?
Quarterback.
I really want to take a DB there. Listen, obviously with the group that's coming in, Milrow's got the talent. Leonard's starting to shine. Not a huge fan of Tyler. For me, I'm going to go the guy that has continued to put doubters away, and it's Dylan Gabriel. And, 18,000 yards passing, Oklahoma sure missed him last year, I'll tell you that. Oregon, he played great at Oregon. Did what he's supposed to do, 72%. I mean, me personally, I want to take a quarterback that is going to be accurate. And it was either him or one other person. And for me, it's Dylan Gabriel. I just think that for me, he's going to show, we talked about last year's class was great, by the way, at the Senior Bowl. Phenomenal class. We agreed on that.
Oh, yeah.
I said 2-3 years ago, before he was a dude at Oklahoma, had his good year. I really thought that he could be the guy that I honestly would probably take him in Miami. And the reason I would take him to Miami is because you don't have to change your game plan. You have a left-handed quarterback with a left-handed quarterback. It's so tough. You ain't taking him in Atlanta, obviously. So, but I think he's a guy that you could put in that offense and do really well. I mean, run, spread, fast. He's been running it for 3 years. So, actually, man, I love that pick. Actually, I would love to see Miami take it.
I'm not a Gabriel guy. And,
I know you're not, but
I watched him all year.
Hey, I'm going to quote my guy, Nino, real quick. Men lie, women lie, stats don't.
No, you're right. You're right.
I mean, he's done it for 3 different teams.
Yeah, he has. But the game against Ohio State, I said it in the group, that was the game I always fear, where he can't get out of his own way, right? You took 8 sacks, bro. It wasn't like your line just laid down, bro. You were running all over the place, holding the ball too long when it came to certain plays. Yes, 1 or 2 of them was on his line, but a lot of them was him like not knowing what to do because the heat was coming. We saw that.
The crazy thing, he was the other side against Ohio State earlier in the season.
Right.
I blame that on the coaches, honestly.
I don't know who it was on. All I'm saying is those are the games I always hate. I'm always waiting for the Dylan Gabriel game.
It's going to happen to everybody.
Yeah. Bo had him. It is what it is. I just was never a guy, and I'm not going to be, I plant my flag. I don't like this guy, but now he plays for my Ducks, so I like him. No, I didn't like him. I liked what the outcome was this year for Oregon, but I'm not a Dylan Gabriel guy. D-Now took my guy, Jackson Dart, and I knew he was going.
Yeah, that was the other pick for me. So I think
fastest rising quarterback in this draft. And I don't want to knock these kids, but this is kind of attractive mediocrity. They're all kind of close to each other. But I think if anybody in this draft kind of separated himself, give me a second, I'll revert to that in a minute, separated himself this season, I think it was Jackson Dart. Very efficient, pushed the ball downfield well. One of his problems was in his second year in college was when he pushed the ball downfield, the throws were erratic and they turned to be turnovers. He was more tighter in his throws, hitting them windows, hitting them bucket throws, and the turnovers were down. So the A-dot was going up, but the turnover ratio wasn't going up. So that's something that was big for me. I'm going to throw everybody for a freaking loop here. I'm not taking Jalen Milroe. I'm going to go with Moon just entered the chat. I'm a little thrown for it here, but he's only going to be picking defense, so I'll throw him in here. You're a little late, so you're going to have to rock with us for the defensive side. But I'm going to go with Will Howard. Okay? This guy is probably riding the highest success rate right now. Riding a high train. He's playing David to Goliath. He's taking out all the bigger QBs that are in his path that supposedly were better than him. Many of us still believe it better than him, but he's knocking them down. And he's commanding the Buckeyes. They're in the Natty. We always talk about what does the Senior Bowl in Mobile do for guys in that platform. And I don't want to sound like, oh, he's so negative. He could take himself from being a perennial backup in the NFL to possibly landing to a spot where he could be a starter somewhere, in the right spot. Like, you're not going in the first round, and you're probably not going in the second round, but you could have a good showing in Mobile and maybe go somewhere in the late 3rd, early 4th round where you sit a year, learn a little bit. Opportunity isn't right this year, but next year they give you a chance, and maybe you're a Geno Smith, dude. All of a sudden you're getting 3.
I literally was just thinking, what about Seattle?
3, 4, 5. You know what I'm saying?
It would be a good fit. I like that.
Kid's got moxie. He can tuck it. He can run. He knows how to command the offense. Obviously, he's a leader because he would look at all the egos on that offense, bro.
It's a
across
lot.
the board. You know what I'm saying? Judkins he was able to feed everybody, feed the freshman wide receiver, feed the Buka. Nobody really complained. I think he's a smart kid. Am I a fan of him? Not really. But I think what he's done this year, you know,
Mm-hmm.
in a new team, yes, he's kind of loaded, but to be able to command that team and have success and pretty much do well for most of the year. I mean, kid threw for 3,400 yards, right? 32
Yeah.
touchdowns. So I'm with it. 80 career touchdown passes. I think this could be the biggest weekend outside of this coming weekend. You know, after the Natty game, this is the biggest weekend for Bull Howard, like in Mobile. It's just going to be set the appetizer to what could be, you know, the dinner at the draft or even the combine.
I love what you said. Remember back in early in the season when we had the Oregon game, and my man played his tail off, and it came all the way down to the end. I did the show with you. He was like, "Well, what are you doing? You know you only have 5 seconds on the clock, and you refuse to go down." And
Yep.
he didn't go down. And you see him like in the mental aspect of it. You know, clock's moving fast. It's a game on the line. All we need is a field goal. To see him adjust over this course of the season and really take that next step, I love to see his communication with his wide receivers going crazy. And especially with Jeremiah Smith, like sometimes with quarterbacks, you don't want to make it difficult. Like get the ball to the guy that you know is the best player on your team and just do it over and over and over and over again. Look for that matchup. And I think another adjustment that he's had to do is also like adapting to Chip Kelly's offense and all of the different schemes and terminology and things that he had to do. So when we sit down and look at Will Howard's sample size throughout the course of his career, not just where he was
Right.
at Oklahoma, at Ohio State. I'm thinking about Oklahoma because Boom is in the house. But at Ohio State, you look at the entire sample size, it's like, why wouldn't we want to take a chance on that kid, third, fourth, like what you said?
I had questions of him coming to Ohio State. Like I kind of felt like he was taking the lazy man's route. I'm going to go to the big dog, the established team that's loaded. Just spent $16 million right in the portal. I'm going to go there and I'm going to, slide in. What's my competition? Devin Brown? Burn the boats, boy. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but he proved to me, like he got better. And this last game said a lot for me because, yes, they were taking 2-3 guys to take away Jeremiah Smith, right? And outside of the 5 catches for 50 yards that Buka had, they kind of eliminated him. He could have, out of this group of quarterbacks, I can probably see 3 or 4 of them that might have forced balls to those guys in tight coverage that didn't necessarily need to happen. What did he do?
Game over.
He turned to Carnell Tate. Boom. Okay, boy, I'm going to go to my third read. I'm going to start cooking with my third read because they're scheming up me. They know where I'm going. They're taking my guys away. I'm not going to make mistakes. I'm not going to force throws. I'm going to go down my progressions. Boom, boom. Oh, it's not there. I'll dump it to the running back. What happened? Travion Henderson, 75-yard touchdown, banger.
Apartments.
Right, you know what I mean? But that's what I'm saying. Like he's managing the well. It's giving me Bo Nix management kind of vibes. Now, how he's managing the team. Not the way he's like throwing and scheming up, but the way he's managing the team, it's giving me Bo vibes. Bo was a great manager at Oregon. He was a great manager at Auburn until year 2 when they tried to throw a monkey wrench into everything. I think this kid, his draft stock is going to rise after the Senior Bowl. I truly, truly do.
He has no choice, but guess what? Because last year, abysmal.
Oh,
abysmal.
God.
Horrible. He has no choice but to ball out. Boom.
He's been on the way. He's been on the rise all season, and when they threw it on school at him like Donkey Kong, probably kind of crushed it all season. So I kind of can't hate on him. I have to eat crow here. I wasn't a fan, but I'm excited to see him in person. So we're gonna flip it to the defensive side of the ball.
He's grown on me a lot.
Yeah, I think he's grown on a lot of people this year. Moon, since you're new here, you're just hopping in. We're going to start with defensive linemen. Give us your defensive lineman that you want to see the most. That's on you're going to put on your squad here.
Donovan Ezuraku.
Everybody's stealing my people. Go ahead.
I'm just going to say that honorable mention. I don't want to rob. Landon Jackson. Jackson. I'll say Landon just because now that we know what he can do at SEC ball, we want to see the scouts love linemen. They love linemen. And I remember last couple of years, going to the Senior Bowl and experiencing everything that it is. That's the key thing that I always come away from the Senior Bowl every year saying, how is the trench play? What's going on in the trenches? Day 1, day 2, day 3 of practices. Somebody got their tail whooped. How did they bounce back? He'll be the number one guy for me beyond just stats that I'm looking at to see how he just manhandles people.
Yeah. He's the gentleman that went viral for the odd drills, right? Straight stiff Hammond drills, bald gentleman, correct? It's hard for me to get that image out of my head. He is a beast on the line. I will give it, but his style is unorthodox, to
Very
say
much
the
so.
least. Boom. What you got?
For me, it's pretty easy for me, to be honest with you. And I'm gonna go with probably a guy like you probably blew up more than anybody preseason to me, and I really just didn't look at him rich, is Kyle Kennard from South Carolina. Just what he did, and I get he didn't have a ton of tackles this year, but 20 out of 28 solos, right? 28 tackles, but 16 tackles for loss is bonkers. I mean, that's just a wild stat. And just to see, when he needed to make a big play, he did 115 total tackles. And I'm being attacked real quick. I'm going to say hi to my daughter. Hey, plus I love you.
No, I'm not going outside.
All right, go sit down. Getting yelled at right now. So my 4-year-old runs this place. You can sit right here, but Daddy's got to talk. The crazy thing is just to see what he's done over the last couple of years. He's a dude, and he's. You were on him beginning of the season, like, hey, you should probably take this guy out. Like, in our preseason talking to the SEC. I just think he's wild. I think he's a lot of upside. I think he's one of those guys that we see. You were talking about the dude from Georgia Tech, and I'm going to New England for you. That's who I think he could be, to be honest with you. I think he is going to really surprise everybody. It's kind of like, remember like how shocked we all were when Will McDonald just started wrecking everybody at the Senior Bowl. Kyle Kennard is the guy that I think is going to do that this year. I really do. I think he's going to boost his stock so much. I think he's game ready right now, and I think he's got the most to gain right now. I'm not a 1-year guy is what he's going to be basically talking.
Yeah, for sure.
I love his game. I love the fact that he was able to boost Dylan Stewart, and they both worked well and fed off each other. I think if he lands at the Rams, it's an absolute home run. You have Fisk on the outside, you'd have Kennard on the other side, and you have Byron Young in the middle, bro. Let's just eat. They're all young. The Rams are cooking on the defensive side of the ball. He fits well there. I would take him in New England. He'll be gone by the time they would actually get to that, pick or whatever it may be. But yeah, I love Kennard. I think his game he's just old school with a new school twist to him. Dirt dog, just go after the ball. Guy's always looking for leather. I'm gonna go with this dude here. That's many might call it the flavor of the week, but 32 tackles and 21.5 sacks in 2 seasons, kind of stupid at Marshall. Give me Mike Green. I mean,
man,
dude. You're talking about a dude, bro. That I want to say 7 games this year had a 90 or higher PFF rating on the defensive side of the ball. You're talking a guy that literally pulled up a lawn chair all season in other teams' backfield. My man was almost lined up at running back in some of these games for the other team. Absolute beast. He's a dude that you're going to see with. This guy's going to think, oh, I'm from a big school. I'm from the SEC, Big Ten school. They're going to line up against him, and he going to put these dudes on their back, going to be blowing out people's calves and hamstrings, and he going to be eating like Zeke in them memes. Watch out for Mike Green out in Mobile. I think this dude's going to blow up.
Look, it's impossible to watch him when he's at his apex and when they say the eye in the sky does not lie, right? It's impossible to turn on the film sometimes and be like, wow, he made that play. He did that
spin move, dude. This dude got it all.
I would love to see how his package comes out, like how much of his pass rush package that he showcases at the Senior Bowl, and like him getting a chance to work with those coaches is going to be phenomenal for him.
I feel like he got a little chip on his shoulder. Like he it's not really dummy down. He went from Virginia to Marshall, so it kind of is like a
Mhm.
step down, Pete. You know what I mean? But I feel like people will say, "Oh, you went to Marshall and you balled out," but that defense was elite this
Mhm.
year. He
They
was
were
the
good.
cat.
I saw it up close. Like they were
Facts.
good.
And he's just a wrecking ball, and he has multiple tools in his bag to get to the quarterback and to stop the run. Like he can
Mm.
slide on the inside and get to that ball carrier if he needs to, but
Mm.
boy, he can absolutely dominate that edge. So for me, I'm going Mike Green out of Marshall. Let me see what Dean Al's got here.
Love it.
Dean Al says he's going to take. Ha! He was going to take Mike Green, but he's not taking Mike Green now. He did say he wanted that Toledo gentleman if he wasn't on the board. Give me Darius Alexander, defensive tackle, inside
Mhm.
threat out of Toledo. You got a guy at 127 tackles, 45 of them solo. 23 tackles for loss and 9 sacks. But a key thing here, 13 pass breakups. You got
That is amazing.
yeah,
man.
you got a guy who's athletic, good timing. He reads the quarterback well on that line, get up in the middle and just kind of clog it.
Mhm.
Watch out for Darius Alexander. I think that's a really good pick.
Really good pick. Still shocked he didn't take Yaya Black, by the way.
Yeah, he said it. He's like, it's either Iowa or Toledo guy, but got to give the Toledo guy some love here. Moon, I'm going to go with you first again. Give me your linebacker that you're putting on your squad.
Dina, I got to think about. So I was tempted to go Nick Martin originally.
He got injured, though.
And yeah, like, and that just threw up a whole monkey wrench in my plan. But I'm gonna go with Kareem Reed from
Okay.
Utah.
Okay.
I love players that are versatile, sideline to sideline, but also have a type of spark to them. If he comes into the Senior Bowl with the type of film that we saw this past season and really over the last two, I feel like he could take one of the biggest jumps up simply because of versatility alone. You could be able to, those drills that they do at the Senior Bowl are awful for linebackers and defensive backs because it puts you in a position where you have to cover these twitchy guys. They've been bringing in bigger wide receivers.
Mm-hmm.
This year's running back room is going to be, you're going to have to match up with Ollie Gordon.
Mm-hmm.
Martinez. Like, you're going to have to match up with them. So I'm just excited to see how he plays out in space and how that, when I was watching this film, like I like the way he plays out in space. Utah did a great job of using him in different roles. And if he plays out in space in a way, especially in the drills and team play, it's going to be a good jump for him. So I'll take him on my team gladly.
I'm with it. I like it a lot. Dean out goes with my guy out of Oregon, Bassa, Jeffrey Bassa. He's a guy that, before you starter, almost 250 tackles, right? 125 of them solo. So this guy doesn't need the help. He can do it on his own if necessary. 14 tackles for loss, 4 pass breakups, 4.5 sacks. He's a guy. I don't think he had the best year this year. And I think a little bit of that might have been, his counterpart, Jordan Birch, got injured a little bit. He was drawing some doubles. He's a guy that needs that one-on-one matchup. I don't know if he's the alpha, but he can be a hell of a Batman, Robin to someone's Batman on a line at the next level. I do like to pick. You look at a guy, I feel like he might be a little undersized. Right? He's a safety turn linebacker, right? And I think he could go back to that hybrid safety role maybe in the NFL. It depends on where he lands. He's not this huge guy. He's not a huge linebacker. You know what I mean? He's fast. He tackles well. I could see him playing in that, maybe in that nickel role or maybe even in that hybrid role, on the edge, on the outside, whether they can kind of just blitz him. I know he's not nowhere near the size of Suggs, but his versatility and his athleticism, I could see him kind of, just in the NFL, they're loving these smaller linebackers now. It's crazy. Looking at Ivan Pace, right? I could see
crazy
having that Ivan Pace kind of style of play and now having that breakout at Senior Bowl with the way that they play.
Do you think that he has that thunder though?
I don't know. I don't know if Pace has always had that thunder. Cincinnati has a thunder. He just brought the boom all the time. I don't know if Bassett has that boom capability, but he does. He can't get downhill. We have seen it. So
yeah, that's true. Shout out to Oregon though. Oregon has so many players coming to Mobile.
I'm with it. I was gonna go with this gentleman that nobody's gonna talk about probably because who knows Central Arkansas, right? But I want to talk to this gentleman personally when I get down there because I have a fun man. This boy is a beast. When you got 18 plus tackles for loss back-to-back years, I don't care what school you go to, you are dominating. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go, again, a flavor of the week. That dude who popped, and I think he's going to keep popping like pop rocks out of UCLA. Carson Schwezinger. Mm-hmm. Bro, he's got 163 total tackles. My man had $136 this year alone. That's called just being everywhere at all times, at every single play. 9 tackles for loss, 4 sacks this year alone. He also has 2 picks in his career and 3 pass pickups. So he can't drop back in coverage. He's versatile. You can blitz him off the edge. He coming up the gut. It don't matter. This dude got it. Took him finally this year was his year where he got to start. Bro, you know what they say? You open, don't let someone crack the door. They gave him a crack. He kicked that thing right off the hinges. I think Carson Schwezinger is going to be a guy like Carson Steele that we're going to be hearing about. Like, okay, all right, this boy knows how to play. This boy knows how to eat. He's going to be getting downhill. Gabriel, Stroud, guys like that kind of get antsy in the pocket when the pressure's coming. He might be a guy that's coming for that throat.
Yes, he has that. And shout out to him for being a walk-on in 2021 and getting it out of the mud and worked his way all the way up to team captain. It's a beautiful story. Like, very impressive. 2024, first team All-American. Big Ten, led the Big Ten in total tackles. So his football IQ is just on another. Yeah, it's just on another level. So I'm most excited to see that too. And then also like his coverage skills, being able to play out in space. Like I know I don't want to sound like I'm being a dead horse, but we see it all the time. Get to the Senior Bowl in Mobile, like they make you play out in space, and he'll be a guy that does really good in coverage too.
They put you in awkward positions that you don't normally play out of pocket, and they want to challenge you. They want to see if you have that versatility that you were speaking of. They want to see how you do when your back's against the wall, when you're the undersized linebacker. Here comes Damian Martinez out the gut, right? And he coming up. Let's see if you can stand him up. Let's see if you dip to the side or you try. You know what I mean? So I think this guy is just going to be full downhill, wrapping him up, just cause a problem. His football IQ is stupid. He reminds me of James Laurinaitis. When it comes to
honestly,
IQ on the field,
comp, bro.
I like it.
I'm just saying, when it comes to on the field, how you can be a general, bro.
He's wearing the green dot, right?
Right. That's what I'm saying. He's wearing the green dot as a walk-on. Reminds me of that movie. Was it Greater? The kid from Arkansas, right?
Yep.
Walk-on, right? All-American his senior year center, like wasn't even supposed to be on the team. This dude wasn't even supposed to be there. Took somebody's lunch, ate their dinner, and sent them home in an Uber, bro. And now he's the captain. And now my man's at the Senior Bowl. He about to shine. So I'm loving this guy. Boom, give me a guy.
Huge fan. You stole my guy, obviously, but there's that. For me, I like that country boy that's going to play. That's Cody Lindenberg, and 209 tackles, 117 solo, 13 tackles for loss. 2 sacks, 8 pass breakups, interception. It's tough to play in Minnesota. It's cold.
It is.
I mean, it's cold. And the fact that you're still coming downhill, coming to hit, we're not talking Antoine Winfield Jr. type of draft stock here. We're talking a guy who's, 3rd, 4th round, but these guys are going to turn ahead in the, there's 3 or 4 teams that don't have a linebacker that need depth, right?
Immediately.
I mean, the Dallas Cowboys need one bad. So they're old. The Washington Red.
They need some juice.
Yeah, I mean, but in general, they're old. They also got Kendricks. Yeah. Wagner's on freaking Washington. I mean, the youngest group. Huge. Bobby Wagner's ageless, but you want to take a player and put him in a group that is going to grow and get stronger. Dude, Washington's a perfect fit for that team because their coach is an asshole, and he don't cuss at everybody anyway, so you might as well just come get it. So I think that if they could get Lindenberg, he's just going to sit there and eat anyway. He's the type of guy that he's just going to sit there and work, and their coach going like that. So he actually reminds me a lot of Lee from that was at Dallas. So
Sean Lee
without the injuries,
yeah. The neck injury kept sad. He's a great ball player. I love all the picks. I was another guy I was really a big fan of was Eugene Asante out of Auburn. I just this is another guy that gives me that that Ivan Pace dog. Like he can get down after it. He'll get in the backfield and get that running back. He can also drop back in coverage. He can play all three downs. Like he's not a liability. Probably going to be a green dot on a team that he goes to. I really like his game. I know it may say, well, how's he going to do without Jalen McLeod with him there? But he's going to be there. Like they've been Batman and Robin all year. But the year before that, when McLeod wasn't really a thing, Asante was a thing. He had 70 tackles, and he did his thing when Auburn was putrid. They were better this year. He was the catalyst of that defense. I think this is a guy that could make a rise. All right, let's do DBs before we wrap this up. DBs are safeties.
How many DBs did we get?
One.
It's like 50 DBs that's making a trip to Mobile.
It was 30 linebackers, brother. Boomer, you go first. Go ahead.
Straight homer pick here. Billy Bowman Jr. That's my guy. I've been on this train. I've done this train for 3 freaking years. I mean, and everybody, can say whatever he wants. Interception king. That dude, all he does is ball. And I mean, let's be real. Him and his girlfriend, whenever they decide to have a kid, it's guaranteed to be a Division I ball player. Whether it's softball, football, basketball, I don't care.
No matter.
It's just
swimming.
There's straight pedigree in that one. It's wild. There's 2 5-stars make a kid. Both their grandparents are going to love this. I promise you that.
And they're going to go to Ryan High School too. So it's automatic.
I mean, for me, it's easy. 199 tackles, 122 solo, 10 tackles for loss, 14 pass breakups, and 11 interceptions. And the thing is, it's not like you can have chumps in front of him. I mean, he's got some good dudes. The best thing that we want to talk about, Brent Venables was your coach, and that dude, whether you love or hate him, defensive talent out there, yang that dude's put in the NFL. So from the defensive line to linebackers to DBs and safeties, there's loads of it in the NFL under his tutelage, and you gotta love his attitude. I'm a big fan.
I'm so excited for you to see him in person, Boom. So excited.
D-Now took Castro, obviously, out of Iowa, Sebastian Castro. He did say, though, that he was almost swayed to go Porter, which was, the arch enemy, Iowa State. But he ended up going Castro. I think Castro's a dude. I mean, this guy last 2 seasons has been absolute stout. Doesn't miss a tackle. Missed tackle rate of like 0.9. Right, this guy is an absolute vacuum. He's got great hands. He can mirror wide receivers. I know, same team, but Riley Moss-esque, right? But a little bit more boom to him. So I like it. Moon, give me a guy.
I'm going with a new homer pick for me because D-Now is a Toledo guy, and now them being friends of the network, family of the network, we got to shout out all Toledo guys. So I'm going with Max and Hook. I have an affinity with kids that got that hip fluidity, and he's one of those that I think is going to show out in Mobile. He is all MAC 3 years straight. We'll start there. This man, 62 solo, 1 force, 2 interceptions, but I like his versatility. He can play in the box, he can play deep. I think he's going to be a strong contender for this draft, and I'm praying that he doesn't get cooked because thank God we don't have another Tank Dell coming out, but they're going to challenge him. They're going to try to put the ringer on Max and Hook. They did it with Riley Moss. They will do it with Max and Hook. So I'm just excited for him to put on for Toledo. I'm excited for him to show his tackling ability because that's one of my favorite things about him. And with him being 3 years straight with all MAC honors, I just love the recognition for the big man. Yeah.
I had number 16 highlighted before you took him. But I was surprised you didn't take your Clemson
Real quick,
boy.
didn't Quinyon Mitchell go to Toledo?
Yes.
I mean, it would be pretty cool to see two dudes back to back.
Back to back.
They putting out talent in that secondary for sure.
Hey, Quinyon definitely that dude. We were fans, so the dude shot up the board at the Senior Bowl.
It was crazy.
I think Macton Hook's going to shoot up the Senior Bowl list right up the board after the Senior Bowl as well. I think the kid's an absolute stud. I love the pick.
You said that you were surprised I didn't go Makuba. It was hard because he grew up in Austin. Now he get a chance to graduate in Lorraine from Texas, so that's like a full circle story. He's from Zimbabwe, so that's a whole nother story with him. He's very interesting, super compelling as a player. The interview is going to be great. But for his time at Clemson, I love seeing him up close. His physicality, I love his high IQ, his reaction time, his tackling is getting better. And he's been. If you want to talk about players that got thunder, I think Andrew Makuba has thunder. But I just wanted to give Toledo some love on my pick.
I think Andrew Makuba is going to be everything that we thought that gentleman out of Boise State 2 years ago was supposed to be in the safety department.
J.L. Skinner.
Yeah, like he used to bring the boom, right? He used to have the hands, and then he kind of fizzled out when he got to the next level. I said it in the off season when the dude transferred to Texas. I said, "Yo, Shock went out and got what they lacked on defense: strong safety help. They got smoked in the safety department last year. This dude came in and probably single-handedly should be talked about as being their defensive MVP because he changed the way they could play the ball." They didn't have to worry about a guy out that back. He had IQ if he needed to get a coverage, he could. You need him to stop running, get in there, he could. You need him to be a force off the guy in the slot, he could. Oh, press, I can do that, right? You need me to drop back, and so I can do that. He checks the boxes all the way around. And his missed tackle rate this year was the least of his whole collegiate career. He played very, very well this season, and I think that game, his very last game, shot his draft stock through the roof. The targeting call, I don't want to hear about none of that. I might have played his balls off in that game. And he got himself a bag.
Sometimes we need to see grown man football, Mike. Sometimes we need to see it. I hope they let them show off with their physicality in Mobile.
Take the bubble off these kids, bro. Let them play. You know what I'm saying? It's too much two-hand touch out there. I'm going to go with a guy that's got hands, bro. Did it out, in Louisiana, mall school. Maybe he ain't the real deal. Oh, he went to the SEC. Got it. My man did it, okay? And he can tackle. Give me Trey Amos. I think Trey Amos.
Let's go.
Bubble in Mobile. About 50 tackles, 39 solo. I don't need no help, boy. You catch the ball in front of me, and that's where you stopping. Right in front of me. This is where the line ends. If you catch the ball, because my man got 25 pass breakups in his career. He had 13 in Louisiana. He had 10 this year at Ole Miss. Dog, I'm talking about probably I'm going to go out there and pay my bet. He's probably one of the top lockdown DBs in this DB class in Mobile. My man going to shoot himself into this top 5 DBs when it comes to the draft time. Amos going to be on that list. And I think the stats in Mobile.
We're going to have 2 South Carolina kids in that group.
Yeah.
I mean, the amount of SEC kids that we're going to see, sorry, not South Carolina kids, but SEC kids that we're going to see in that group, stupid.
Absolutely
stupid.
Hey, Quincy Riley, you better bring your big boys, Jones. Better bring them. Better bring them. Like, hey, Amos, when you combine quick feet, good hand usage, and the ability to play the run and the pass, you're going to be on Moon's checkboard.
No, bro. I watched his film. I started watching his film a little bit more this year, and then I started doing this. And when you start doing the research and putting shit together, I'm like, yo, a man can play the handcuff. He can be in your pocket, right? He can give you space and toy with you. I'll give you. I'll fall back. I'll give you 5 yards. I'm still going to be in your pocket by the time you need to catch the ball, right? He has that late break, but he can still break the ball up, and the dude has it all. And like you said, that physicality, he ain't afraid. He may not be the biggest DB, but he ain't afraid to get down and dirty in the box, bro. Tight ends, running backs coming out, they're going to get hit.
Yeah.
That's simple.
You got
Kid's
some
got
DBs
it.
tackle, bro.
I want to see Rayon Lane personally. Like obviously a Navy person myself, but dude, that dude put some stats on the board. I think he'd be a really good nickel. You know what I mean? So
I want to see Malachi Moore, bro. I want to see what happened to that freshman year. I thought you were going to be Caleb Downs, bro. You were Caleb Downs before Caleb Downs, and then you went away for 2 years. And then this year, he returned, but the problem was defense wasn't as stout as they normally were, and offense couldn't put up as many points, so they were out there gasping for air most of the season. But I think Malachi Moore should do well here in Mobile.
Agreed.
Rayon Lane.
It
makes perfect sense that you said he plays in the slot because I mean, I don't think he's 6 foot. I don't think he's 5'11". We gonna see what
he hits like a Mack truck, bro.
I know.
Get by him.
That man's been a key player since his freshman year. Just freshman.
Starter. He's been the dude. Yeah, like, come on.
You love to see it. And
I'm here for it.
That's an underrated. I love that pick too.
I love the underclassman pick of Jacob Parrish too. I think Jacob Parrish is the underclassman out of Kansas State, bro. He got sticky hands, almost 20 pass breakups. Another guy who can give you space and close quickly, right? Can toy with you. Not afraid to play press coverage. You're probably not going to throw him around. Got them long arms, so you got that radius where he can kind of trail a little bit and still get that arm up and then break a pass. So I think him as the underclassman, I really like Parrish. I think he's going to do well. I'm excited, man. We're less than 2 weeks away.
It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be a party.
Shout out to Maddie.
And, absolutely. We shouted out earlier in the show.
And Caleb Ransall. All 6 foot 196 of him.
Ooh.
I love him. He one of my favorite players to play with on NCAA football 25. Especially when you're using him because he has so much like fluidity. But when it talks about the game, high football IQ, I just love seeing high football IQ players, and we have a lot of them. That makes me ask both of y'all a question though. Like, who do you think? Obviously, when we got the DB room between both the national team and the American team is going to be loaded. But there always rises out a top dog as far as the talkers. Who do you think is going to be that guy this year?
McCumber.
Lathan Ransom. You don't have a name like that without trying to take some bodies, bro.
Yeah. I think
you know what I mean?
Gonna be talking so much shit, bro.
Oh yeah.
He knows he's the dude. Like he knows it.
Yeah.
He's just trying to stack. You know what I mean? Like he wants to stack. He ain't taking no risks, so he's gonna take every opportunity to showcase himself. Don't be surprised if my dude out of Western Kentucky ain't running his mouth the whole time.
You talking about Upton?
Bro, my boy Upton will get in your ear like a bee and start buzzing, bro. Watch out. This kid he might be the biggest talker in this TV room in Mobile out of all of them. But he got game, so he can back it up.
It's going to be sensational. Sensational.
My boys, it's been a pleasure. First year, I think we're going to do this draft type style every year moving forward. But what I'll do is we'll get a tweet out there, put up everybody's team and their picks in, and we'll kind of see what X in the community has to say about it. But until the next one, gentlemen, it has been a blast. I appreciate you all. We'll catch you on the flip side.